Hi everybody, welcome to the second episode of how to make easy game characters with internet stuff. And where we left off was that we made the face of this character and all of that stuff. But I grabbed the previous version of what we were doing, so I can teach you guys how to do unwrapping, and this will be probably one of the easiest things that you might find that is to do. But keep in mind that you really want to practice how to unwrap different things. Not everything is going to be unwrapped the same way as we're going to unwrap this model right here. Okay, so just so you understand what unwrapping means, unwrapping is taking, for example, we have this cube. If you go here to your tabs up here, you might have UV editing. If you don't, you should find it in general here, UV editing, and you want to have that tab there. Okay, so if we cut a box open and we try to spread it without taking apart any of the pieces, just spread it across a flat plane, this is what we get. We get all these planes that this box is made of. And that's what we do when we unwrap something. We want to grab this character and make cuts to a point that when we stretch the skin, and yeah, it sounds kind of gruesome, but you want to kind of open up a character and stretch its skin over a flat plane, so it's easier for the texture to be put on it and managed. Okay, so let's go to it real quick. Send it onto our character. Unwrapping happens in editing mode. We are going to edge mode, and we're going to start cutting the parts of this character. So I'm going to start with the head. Holding Alt, you can select that loop right there. And sometimes you want to do it up here in the shin, sometimes you want to do it all the way down here in the neck. That depends on you. I like to keep my head separate, just mostly because when I do equipment and all those type of things, the equipment usually takes up the neck, and I like to keep the clothing together. So then you Control E with your edge menu is going to come up. Control E again, and then you're going to look here for marked seam. Seam is just like doing, how do you call those, like tailors, they make seams on the dresses and all that stuff. So this is the same thing. So we're gonna mark a seam. Yours might be red, that's the default, because I have like a theme here in Blender, but yours probably would be red is the basic theme, and blue is let's find it out. Sharp. Blue is sharp for you. My sharp is green. Okay, so yellow here is the marked seam. I'm gonna cut the head, and this is gonna be a separate island, a separate UV map. Well, not map, but it's like a UV island. So islands are separate pieces of a UV map. So now I want to grab this one right here. I'm gonna go and select with holding Control. I'm gonna click here and select all this part of the head right here, all the way down here, and that's gonna crack open this, and it's gonna allow it to be expanded both ways. It's gonna be stretched out. So I'm gonna do Mark C, and now I'm gonna hit L, and L is to select. But here in this menu right here, you can select by seam. So whatever is closed up, it has to be all the way closed. Whatever is closed up by a seam, you'll be able to select it. Same thing with sharp, UVs, and all that stuff. Okay. Now let's go to UV editing. I want to show you what happens when I do U. Hit the U key or UV, unwrap, and this is what happens. If we were to have eyes here, like you probably have, I'm gonna do quick eyes here just to show you. I'm gonna like to show you and get rid of those faces, do a relax, insert, oops, two parts here. Go insert, right? Now let's do a mouth, quick mouth, like this. Relax, insert, stretch it down a little bit, insert, stretch it down a little bit, push it in. E to push it in, and then X to leave the face. Okay, so just like that. Actually, let me do auto mirror just to have that and apply it. Okay, so now if I select my head and do unwrap, there we go. Yeah, you see the face, and you'll have your nose there if you make the nose and all that. Whatever, and if we make the ears, it'll be around here. So as you can see, we're just like kind of opening it up and stretching it in this flat plane. That's what's gonna allow us to paint on it. Alright, so let's go back here to our layout, edit mode, and I'm gonna go back to edge and click this thing all the way down here to, yeah, probably here. And select mark seam. Now with Alt, select that loop there, mark seam. So I want to have that chest. Now I want to separate the whole arm, so like that, select that loop there, mark seam. And you can do just one side. I do usually just one side at a time. So one side of the body, because I can always do auto mirror and the seams are gonna translate to the other side, so that helps a lot. Okay, so you wanna put, since this is gonna be a whole tube, and if we don't cut it and put out the seam all the way up, it's gonna be like this cylinder that's gonna be tried to be stretched out. So you wanna put a cutting seam or a crossing seam somewhere where it's not gonna be, shown most of the time. So the under part of the arm is a good area. Here, for example, sometimes you put seams here. Inside the legs, the parts are not gonna be seen often. So we'll put that line in there. So put a seam there. Now we want to go work on the hand, and what I do is I want to cut all, like the palm of the hand. I want to get it out, separate it from the top part of the hand. So what I do is try to find this seam right here, and you'll see that it's rarely made, to be honest. This model is kind of oddly made. So when I make models, this line will probably cross over all the fingers, but that's okay. So what we do is just go and do it manually. Select this one, hold Control, and just kind of move your way around. Probably gonna go there, all the way up here, yeah, and then go here. Oh wow, no, sorry, it goes all the way here. Yep, that's it. So you want to separate, like I said, this right here, the top part from the bottom part. That's basically what we're trying to achieve here. Because when you're painting, the lower part of the hand is different color most of the time, and it has slightly different details. That way it's a lot easier when if you're gonna do any very detailed hand painting. If not, you can just cut it open. Some people cut the fingers on their own as well. That's when they want to do very, very detailed stuff on the fingers, so they can make the seam bigger. But this should work fine for now. Okay, so next is the legs. So what I do with the legs is I take this seam, drive it all the way to the center, and then Alt select this seam down here in the center. And man, this character was built on an odd way. I think this was remeshed. Either way, so that goes all the way down there. let's select this X-ray control and deselect this whole thing here. Get rid of that as well. And probably put it all the way down here. So like I said, you want to try to keep this within inside the leg, but if your character is odd like that, then it's fine. You can always kind of try to move it, and you'll have some jagged areas, but it's alright. I mean, it's not going to be super noticeable either, and your character might not be naked either, so it's alright. So Control E, mark scene. Now I'm going to select this loop here, Control E, Control E, mark scene, and then the lower part, what I do is I take here, move it down here, and then Jesus, okay. Alt selecting in this character is it's a whole trip. I'm gonna go around it, so we want to get the lower part of the foot kind of disconnected, basically, because it's not gonna be seen often, so you can just make it a lot smaller. Yeah, that's good. That's alright. Cool. Control E, mark scene. Okay, so at this point we got most of it unwrapped. Sometimes it's good to unwrap your eye area and lips if you're gonna do details on those. Sometimes it's a good idea, other times it's not good, so it doesn't matter. Just to let you know, you should always play around with what you're doing and try to find the way that best suits your workflow. So I hit end here and go to my tools and object mode, have it selected, outer mirror, apply this mirror, and wow, we got our seams on the other side perfectly mirrored. Super great. Now all we have to do is go to UV editing, select all, and unwrap it. Here we go. Legs, chest, hand, the other part of the hand, these are the feet, foot, and that seems to be arms. These are arms. So all open, face, and whatnot. Okay, so I'm a big fan of Blender, mostly because of the add-ons. I love that it has a community of coders that create add-ons. And you might not have this add-on, but if you start using Blender, these are some of the add-ons that are super worth it. I have this guy right here. It's called UV Packmaster, and it does a bunch of stuff, but the best thing that it does is to pack this in a way that makes a lot more sense, instead of you having to move things around and put them in a way that it's better for you. For example, I want the head to be rather large. Is the thing that's going to be seen the most, so I need this to be rather large. Actually, let me show you something else. You see that this is kind of odd, it's not symmetrized, so let's fix that. Let's do unwrap again. You're gonna get this menu down here, and sometimes changing this to conformal fixes it, and sometimes makes it worse. So apparently that was the best it was doing, but you want to try to sometimes, and to be honest, I really don't know why it's different, but you want to switch. If something is not symmetrical as you expect it to be, you want to switch between angle base and all that. You also have this margin here, which will make the space between them larger or smaller, which is also very good when you're working. Let's put this, yeah, 0, 1, that's good. But like I said, so I want to have the head be rather large, one of the biggest parts. It's important. So UV Packmaster, what it does is it will take what I made in terms of sizing, and it will try to do its best to accommodate. See, now the head is one of the largest parts, and it made the other ones a little bit smaller, so it fits. It's really good, and it packs them tight. You can also put a margin if you wanted to pack with a lot more space, so when you're painting you have more room to play around. So basically this is literally what you do when you do some UV. It's not a big deal. Again, just takes practice. You want to use your logic and try to open up your model as flat as you can in a paper canvas. That's basically what we do. Okay, so now I'm gonna move along to the other part, which is texturing. I'm gonna do super quick texturing, and for that I'm gonna bring up my browser. I'm gonna get free textures, and there's a ton of websites. CCO Textures is a creative. The one I created, I forget the name. So that's the license thing, the CC license. Creative Commons. There we go. Okay, so Creative Commons textures. So you can use these with all the freedom that you wanna and other projects. So you'll be pretty cool. So we can get here skin. Let's type skin. And that's apparently the only skin it has. That's sad. Okay, so let's look for. We can also use sand. Yep, sand also works. You can use some other ones. Let's try to find another texture. Let's try textures.com. See how it is. Texture link. Okay, let's try this guy. Let's see if there's any skin around here. You know what? It's probably easier to just go free skin texture. The Pinterest. There we go. Okay, so we found some skins there. Cool. Human skin. Human skin. Let's grab this guy. What these sites will do, they'll give you the diffuse and all these maps that you can use. But I'm just gonna show you how to set it up. And when you transfer these to Unity, you are probably gonna need to do a lot of the work of setting up the material, because game engines, they don't read Blender materials, or probably any other materials aside from Substance Painter, which is designed for that. Okay, so Displacement, I think this is the color one. So that's the one I'm gonna use. I'm gonna move this to my 2D folder so I can find it easily. Go back to Blender. Go move ourselves to the view per shading settings. Go here, and it has this material. Let's change it to skin. And here, let's go. This dot here allows you to change what is the node that's going to be using. I'm going to add an image node. Click the folder so it opens up our Explorer. We got human skin here, and there you go. It's all attached to it. So now it looks like a really creepy alien. What we're going to do is go here, and we want to kind of make this bigger so we can see this better. We want to odd. Yeah, sometimes menus kind of just disappear on me. Yep, menu is not here. There we go. Let's change this here. Okay. So you want to kind of make this bigger, so you can see it starts to kind of blend in, and that skin feel is, of course, a lot smaller than what it was. You can also rotate so it kind of matches what you want for the skin. depending on what's the part. Alright, so for example the chest here, kind of want to rotate it. Yeah, so it's like that. Maybe make it even bigger, and you can move this around, it doesn't matter. The space of the UV map is kind of infinite. You can literally just make this huge and it'll still be bound to the texture itself. This is only when it's seamless texture, not when it's multiple colors and stuff in here. It has to be a seamless texture, else it's just gonna be all weird. It's gonna, because how the texturing work is, this is getting tiled, duplicated all across the space. So this little cube is everywhere. It's just showing you here. Okay, so that's a way to get some skin there. Alright guys, so that's literally how you unwrap a character and just add a texture to it. I'm gonna do another video where I show you how to, you know, update this texture and give it some nice little detail and whatnot. But for now, this is probably, at this point you can start doing your character and play all around with adding different textures to it and seeing how it goes. And just try to get creative. Don't be afraid to try new things. But as you can see, unwrapping is not daunting. It's rather simple. And later on, after I do the video of modifying textures, I'm going to show you how to do some hand painting, which in my experience is a lot easier and simpler to be creative with it. Alright? Well, cheers. I hope this actually helped you. And if you have any questions, write them on the comment. Get me on Discord. And subscribe if you liked it. If not, then yeah, that's it.